In 5, 4. It's movie time, and we're back again with movie time. That's okay. It's like it's like hopefully you all have had a lovely break during this time, and it's like we are back again on a wonderful Wednesday. It's like otherwise known here as Rainy Wednesday, and we are here with my amazing co-hosts and an incredible guest tonight. That it's like if you are not listening to us tonight, you are missing out. It's. I wanted to introduce my co-host too, Olaf Barbosa. Hey Olaf, how you doing?
I am doing great. It's been a great, good day in the wonderful state of Indiana. We were supposed to have this really horrendous hailstorm come through, and they were predicting tennis ball size hail, and we got a little bit of rain, and that was it. So it did. It's just, I don't know, I'm not sure how far, if it got anywhere close to me or not, but, I mean, they closed the pools early and all kinds of stuff in preparation for this massive storm that was supposed to come through, and it didn't hit, so, I'm able to be here tonight.
Yeah, it's a shame you have but one house to give to the country.
Yes, I know.
And we also have our co-host, Arpo. Hey Arpo, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Excellent. And tonight we...
It's a good life in sunny Florida.
See, now you've had hurricanes and tornadoes. It's like we just had a tornado watch. It's like Olaf just had a near tornado. See, it's like I think that you're due for the tornado now. So that it just like now you can bat it into the ocean. That's okay.
I want to point out that since I have moved down here, there has never been a major hurricane on the east coast of Florida.
Then may you live in Florida for yes, may you live on southern Florida then forever.
Yeah, they should hire you. They should hire you.
They should be paying me protection money. I'm telling you.
So what
And
you're saying is the day that you moved in, when you were moving in, there was a hurricane, but there hasn't been one since you moved in. And if you ever decide to move, there'll be another one.
yes.
Probably, yes.
So we're now nailing him to the floorboards. And tonight we also have, as I said, if you are missing the show, you are missing out. We have an amazing guest, Ellie Partovi. How are you, Ellie?
Right. Hi.
Hi.
Ellie Partovi. Yes, hi. Nice being here, and thank you for having me on your show.
No, thank you for being here. It's like you get to go with our merry lot of all of us.
Sure, absolutely. I always take any opportunity to talk about film, filmmakers, and just the idea of promoting and just making the female kind of portion of the filmmaking crowd more comfortable in their skin by things that I can do to make it better for them. I don't know. I just like
Yes.
kind of really excited to have this opportunity, and I want to actually grab this opportunity and spend some of this time to talk about those important issues. Number one, the role of females, women in Hollywood, and number two, the question of diversity in Hollywood. Those are two of my really hot topics that I want to add to this mix that we're going to talk about.
Absolutely, and I'm so excited about this too. It's like I've been like going, ooh, I really have wanted this topics to be talked about for a long time. We even talked about a little bit, as I mentioned last week, of our diversity episode as well, and asked that question many a time. It's like, why is there no Children of a Lesser Gods being made today? Why is there no like Rudy's and things like that being made today? Why is there no roles that are being written for people above the age of 35, written today in the manner that it's like they have that they're not somebody's mother, somebody's next door neighbor, somebody, it's like, why can they not be put as a strong person in their own right, kind of thing. So we'll be talking about that too.
Exactly. So basically, let me just introduce myself.
Yes, please.
Again, Ellie Partovi. I'm a film producer and also a media consultant. I recently, most recently, I've been more and more involved with the sort of consultancy kind of part of my career. It's been I've been concentrating way more on that, and also basically we have a production company. It's a really unique boutique production company. We have where I myself and my partner Larry Karnarski, who's a fantastic writer. We have several projects of our own, several scripts of our own, and also several other scripts, intellectual properties from other wonderful people and other wonderful packages that I'm sort of like developing and hoping to produce and actually raise the money for. So basically, and also very recently, I got involved with the Asian World Film Festival, which is a film festival that happens in Los Angeles. Talk about the diversity. It happens in Culver City here in Los Angeles. It's basically a film festival that covers 51 countries, all the Asian countries, and it's to me it's a really amazing gateway for all the other filmmakers from that from different Asian countries to come here and promote their films and promote their country. So that's like a really cool thing that I'm doing as well, and I'm sort of on board as their executive consultant, and I'm hoping to help them raise some sponsorship or partnership kind of situations, so we can sort of expand the festival. So far, it's been really, that project has been really exciting and amazing, and I really urge everyone to follow that. We'll get to that in a minute. So, but these are like the really exciting projects that I'm working on right now. I will let you ask the questions and then.
Oh no, that's actually that's really interesting, because it's like, then how did you actually come about to getting to the position that you're in? Because we are going to be talking about this as well, being that it's like in terms of breaking into the industry, it's very it's got its challenges.
From the very beginning, I studied film and television in Cal State LA, and I started. In the very beginning, I started with a couple of really great German companies that used to do design, production design, and set construction in Hollywood. And we did. I basically ran the two companies. One was the Module Inc. and then later on Wall House. And we were a really cool and very unique kind of set construction and design or like production design company that catered to mostly commercials, TV commercials, late 90s, early 2000s. And then later on, I built this really cool, or helped build, or even developed later, this really cool film, or like a movie ranch in Lancaster, California, which actually, if you ever saw, let's say, those commercials in the 90s and the 2000s, if you saw any desert scenes with a motel and a gas station,
Yes.
and a pool, that was our movie ranch, over and over and again. I mean, it was
Wow.
thousand different commercials and whatnot. So that was a very successful project, and I really developed that project for several years, and that was a very successful kind of a setup where we had the set construction company in LA, and then we had this really cool sort of a movie ranch in Lancaster, and we used to basically sort of cater different services to the commercial and movie world. And a lot of independent films, by the way, were made in that location. So I started there, and then from there on I did produce some commercials, and then later on I went into producing some really sort of different kind of films. For example, some documentaries. For example, one documentary that was done with the help of my partner. I produced it and he directed it. And this was commissioned by the school district here in Southern. It's one of the school districts here in Southern California. And we basically, with that video, with that documentary, I raised, I would say, I think they were looking for a huge bond issue. And I think that was like over like $5 million bond issue they were after. And then after this film was shown to the board, that they won the bond issue, and they won, like, so that was a very successful, I would say, sort of a project to me.
Very cool.
Later on, I'm not sure exactly what year we started co-producing the Serious Business of Happiness, which is sort of my crown success in Hollywood, I would say, which is basically a docudrama which is about happiness, and it's about, like, I would say, several. Basically, this project was made to serve as. We had a very specific sort of target audience in mind, and we modeled ourselves on a very specific sort of other films that had made millions of dollars with the same sort of subject, and that's called this was in the new thought or sort of new age kind of realm, and basically we interviewed several very, very highly successful and highly well read, and people who have have sold millions of copies of books. For example, Eckhart Tolle, interviewed him and many others. You will see if you look up Serious Business of Happiness, which was a really fantastic, to me, and successful film. But that was a really life lesson to me as well, because there was a lot of pitfalls and a lot of stuff that I could go on discussing for hours well, we can get to that maybe at some point too. But that was a really amazing film that took us about a year to make. And it had great sort of audience success here. But again, like I said, there are some huge legal issues with the distribution and whatnot that, and the investors of that particular film, unfortunately, made it very difficult to navigate that the same way that these other films were navigated and made millions of dollars. So,
you know what they say, if you could write the book of you knew then what you know now, then you would do it so much differently.
Exactly, isn't that true? And it is, it's been a fantastic lesson to me. I always think that, life has a lot of lessons to offer, and every time you do fall down, and this was a big fall in some ways for me, because I personally put in a good 2 years of my life into this film, and I would say it was like my own personal baby, and I always say that you really need to sort of choose who you work with. That is such an important, important factor. So yes, and also legal issues are really important to tackle with. So I would say that to me, this experience taught me to really be a lot more sort of aggressive in what I want and what it is that the issues that I want to address
and champion.
Yeah, exactly.
And again, these are the sorts of things that I would like to see covered more in terms of articles, books, etc. I mean, everybody wants to everybody's really interested in the big Hollywood success story, but I think, especially for some of our listeners out there who are just trying to get started in this business, that you'll learn so much more from finding out about other people's mistakes.
Yes.
Exactly. And not only mistakes, because I really like to think that I didn't make any mistakes in this. I would love to, because I put in a lot of myself into this, and a lot of thoughtful effort. But like I said, team effort, having a good team, having a great team is so important for the completion of project. Number one, and then number two, having all your legal sort of issues covered.
Yes.
Because if you don't do that, then it's going to come and bite you in the face in a big way.
Yes, a good lawyer will always save your butt in so many ways.
Yes.
Exactly. So it's always my advice has always been to young filmmakers to number one. Okay, let me say something before I even start pontificating about that. The most important thing before you start anything is that you have to tell a good story when you make a project. Any sort of film, anything, you have to have a good content. You have to have rich content. It has to resonate. It has to give something back to the audience. Otherwise, it doesn't work. So it is really important to have. The first thing is, yes, story is the most important thing. Good story and good storytelling is the most important thing.
Yes.
in the film business or any sort of media business, anything, even book writing. When you want to express yourself, you have to tell a story. Even in marketing nowadays, storytelling is like a huge thing, and this is one of the reasons why I really emphasize in this fact. And every project that we have, I have every intellectual property that I have in my possession has intrinsic social and humanistic values.
Mm-hmm.
Those are really, really important factors to me. Now, I know that the idea of a really popular genre right now, I think, let's say it's horror films or let's say horror films, right? Which to me, I mean, okay, so that this is like, it's fine. Horror films are a genre to their own and they have their own place. But I would, in my opinion, if I had two stories to choose from, and one was just basically portraying violence and sort of like sort of gratuity, like violence for gratuity, and then the other one is it has some sort of intrinsic value. To me, that's just so much more valuable. Okay, so and then how the story is told, and how well it's told. So once you have that, you have your product, and that's a good story and it's well told. Then you have to be able to take this story and sell it to the right people. In order to find the right people, that's a big huge job. It's not an easy job. I think finding the right producer, finding the right production company, finding the right group of people to work with, to sort of try to sell your script or project is really, really important. To work with the right team. Sometimes even people, both sides are perfectly, okay, and they are doing their job, but it's just they have the wrong dynamics together. I've noticed that too, and things just won't work with these people together. So I would say, if you feel like this is happening to your project, just divorce, step back, and take a deep breath, and maybe start from scratch and find another group of people, or
find a better foundation of people, because we've been told also that a lot of times in terms of the industry, it's like when you're working with somebody, you're probably going to be working with them for the next 7 to 9 years together, so you better really love each other a whole heck of a lot, because it's like you're going to want to work with the same people over and over again over the industry, but also even projects themselves, between the time that they've been in production to the time that they get out there in general, it's like you're working with that same person for the next like 5 to 7 years at least.
Exactly. So it's really, really important to find the right team or right partner to help you or guide you along the way. Or if you're you can't be on your own. Really, I was going to say you can't be. But so basically, you really need to find the right group of people and partners to drive your project forward. Now, I can, if you want, I could sort of like get a little bit into like financing and whatnot, and just talk a little bit loosely about that. And
well, yeah, it'd be interesting to talk about it.
Yeah. When you're putting together, what I get is when you're putting together your team for whatever project you're working on, it's going to work better and turn out better if you find people that have kind of the same passion or the same kind of work ethic that you have. In other words, if all the years kind of mesh together well, then your project's going to turn out better than if they're not. You got somebody that's just kind of not quite on the same page as everybody else.
Exactly. You see, my working philosophy has always been this. I want to make the world a better place. That's my number one priority. You know, now since my medium is media and filmmaking and videos and whatnot, apps, whatever platform it is that I'm working with. I want to make I like to leave a good, you know, a good footprint, you know.
Yeah.
And in order to do that, I have always sort of attached myself to certain kind of projects, and I've always developed certain kind of projects. For example, my non-profit organization, it's called Multimedia Production, or that I started that last year, and my idea is, and still is, and I'm just so busy, and I'm a one-man band or one-woman band, as they say, and that's I established that production sort of platform to produce sort of worthy or to show and produce and bring in, develop sort of socially worthy projects. And so far, and also, for example, being involved with the Asian World Film Festival is another one. I'm very passionate about film, and especially just international films and world cinema in general. I really love seeing other cultures, other worlds, and the way other people make films. As much as I love to see independent films being made here in the U.S., and it's just so cool to see a whole bunch of other people that have the same exact passion, and they're all together. And they, when I went to this festival last year, I was just like, I was flabbergasted with all the energy and the passion that these people showed about the films that were being shown, and also the filmmakers that were being presented. So it was like a really cool kind of idea to see so much passion. And I liked it, here's why. Because then I thought, oh my God, I went to they had several sort of panels that was to help filmmakers and people in the industry to network and to get more information. And those panels were just phenomenal. And I thought, wow, I want to be involved with this film festival because they're doing something good for other filmmakers. I mean, I had never seen, and these panels were like 3 panels that
nice
filmmaker, yes, anybody off the street could have walked into these incredible panels with super duper, guest speakers that had really important information to impart at the first meeting. No, I'm just joking. But it was like really an amazing experience to see that yes, there is such a thing available and there is a lot of that happening here in LA, fortunately. So it is. I like to work with projects like that, and it makes me just work better when I see a script. I get more excited if I see a script that has some merit, and here's for this very reason. 3 of the important projects that I'm working on right now are very heavily female-driven, lead female-driven roles, and also 2 of them are again, it's about diversity. They are non-white American female roles. So those are things that I'm trying to do to make things more exciting for myself and for hopefully, yes.
Well, and it's refreshing because it's like finally to be able to have something that has diversity. It's like we were talking about in terms of that. It's like there is a long road that has to be hauled in terms of with the female directors, female producers, female writers. It's like there's a lot of female writers in terms of that. But our industry really makes up only about maybe 15% in terms of that as being female oriented.
Right.
Yeah.
When we read these statistics, it just makes me really sad. Let me tell you a story.
Okay.
I belong to the women in film.
Yes.
Here, wonderful group of people, and I
Toronto Bridge.
I love networking, and this is one of the networking kind of things I do. And we were at one of these networking meetings at Women in Film, and obviously it was a whole bunch of producers were sitting they were like several different tables, and we were all sort of like gathered in these round tables, separate tables. And this being like mostly all female producers, and we were actually having a really, really important, serious conversation at one of the round tables, and so suddenly a couple of gentlemen, which were the only 2 males in this meeting present. They joined our round table, and after I would say 5 minutes sort of exchange conversation, things start to change. I mean, the tone. All of a sudden, I felt like the direction of the meeting has changed.
Yeah.
Now the males, these 2 gentlemen, have taken over the way, or just taken over the wheel, for a better word to say. So it was just kind of like I found it kind of like unsettling, really, and I see that. I've seen that in my career over and over again. It's like I hate to sound a little bit.
No, that's okay.
Basically, being a female, being an Iranian American, all of those things have sort of have been. Make things a little bit less easy for me to navigate through school, through my career, and this I don't want to particularly talk about race here, but let's just talk about gender.
Yes.
When I would walk into a lot, believe me, I go to a lot of meetings, a lot of development meetings, a lot of meetings. I've been to so many meetings where, 20, male
executives
are sitting around, and basically my experience has been that they just I felt like I was never given the chance to prove myself, because there was no space for that. I had to fight my way and navigate my way through this, and it's been a really really rough road. But and I know it's not getting easier. The way the things are going right now for women in this country, especially I don't know. So basically,
with the strange political situation that we are in, yes. Let's call a spade. The strange political situation that we find ourselves in, whether whatever side of the coin that you want to call that, good, bad, indifferent, other way. The one thing I find very, very interesting in terms of a female, from a female perspective in the industry, is that is a female, when you are saying I want to direct the film, it's like you want to direct the film, where if it's like, well, what, and you have to prove 50 times over your experience, where if you were the guy saying I want to direct this film, it's like, where do we give you the money?
Right. It's some of that, and to me it's always been okay, if you can do it, do it.
Yes.
But how is that possible? How could one do it when as if like you lock a door and you say, okay, like, please, come in, and you throw the key away and you say, no, get in, and that's how it feels to me in this industry and a lot of other industries, as far as like gender, the gender issue. I'm afraid that I
know what you're talking about, because I spent a few years on the business end of live theater, and my boss was a woman, Elizabeth Kearns. She had a great deal of savvy. She knew what she was doing. She was very intelligent. But I remember, the main thing I remember about her is she had a sign on her desk which said, a woman must work twice as hard as a man to be thought of as half as much.
Yes.
And that attitude hasn't changed. It hasn't changed.
It hasn't. In fact, it's gotten worse. Like I just was trying to say in a nice way, because then now we have basically, it's like misogynists have been given carte blanche to do whatever they want. I mean, if it's okay for the head of the country to say, okay, you can touch the lady somewhere and whatnot, and you can actually say that, that's to me, it's already like we are going somewhere really ugly that we shouldn't be going.
That's called McCarthyism.
It's worse than that. I don't know. It's just something really hideous that I'm very sad about, and I'm sure a lot of, all women in the U.S., this is like a very tragic time to me, and I really agree with all the Hollywood I am really thankful for people to speak up about this, because I think that a lot of women are under a misconception about what's going on right now, especially people that have actually voted for this really administration, I think. So I really wish maybe I shouldn't really be going there right now.
Well, the reason why we're also going there in that sense is because it's like it does come into the values of what's looking at in terms of the female role in terms of the industry, because a lot of people it's like there was many years where they were starting to open it up, and then there has been a pushback as well, because a lot of even our own females in our industry don't support each other. We don't turn around and say, you know what, it's like, yeah, they're like, well, I made it and I had to fight for it. It's like, yes, you have to fight for it, and I'm not saying that it shouldn't be fought for, but one of the things I've often said within the industry, which I find very interesting, as I said, you want to have financing. If tomorrow Olaf and ARPA wanted to go ahead and get a movie made and get the financing for the film, if they had the contacts, they wouldn't be asking them, so what have you directed before and stuff like that. They might ask it in the terms of a meeting, but they wouldn't put it as so much of a stressor on that of your capabilities to be able to handle the production and to be able to handle those things, where myself and yourself, if we go there, the thing that comes into question then is, so give me your list of credits, and then even when you give them the list of credits that you've done, then that's not good enough. It's like, why? It's like you can't handle a $5 million movie. Well, I'm sorry, but ask Catherine Bigelow if she could handle a $5 million movie.
Yes. The thing is that you want to know something really funny, because most of whatever that goes on in the machinations of the financing of the film is done by females.
Yes.
In the background, because that's something that you and I don't see, but most of the stuff, the paperwork, how the administrative stuff, and all the actual like sitting down and chewing it out, and somebody's assistant and this person, it's always like, if you look at a certain kind of a group of people that have done something, you would realize that, okay, this guy has directed this film, or this guy has produced this film, but here are all these women that have contributed to this thing. So, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It amazes me too that there's nothing stronger in place. I mean, when you think about it, women in Hollywood are treated worse than just about any other minority.
Yes.
Exactly.
And it's so that I can't even comprehend how that can happen, except as Grayson was saying, that the women don't show the support for each other like the African American community supports each other, and the Asian community support each other, and the Latino community support each other, and somehow that interior support doesn't seem to happen among the women, and I'm wondering, is that the problem? Or
well,
is that
no, I don't think that's true as much. I don't think women are like deliberately trying to sabotage each other's careers,
not sabotage.
No, I didn't mean it that way. But anyway, not help each other's
Yes.
or not cause. I don't think that's true at all. I think women in Hollywood really understand what's going on. But again, how do you? Okay, let's say a producer really like me, and I had incredible, really amazingly powerful female-driven, script that I had been, that has had some really great interest from. I can't really get into details because there's
non-disclosures, yeah.
So what I can say is that they're really good, very strong female, actress who's really very interested, and they have said yes, and there's a lot of different parts of this package is sort of like getting there, except I remember having a discussion last week with a producer, and as soon as we were discussing two separate projects, and he just voiced his sort of disinterest immediately for the female lead one, the one that I was trying to interested in. And he basically his point was that look, this film is not going to make it because it's about a poor woman. Nobody is interested to see a poor woman struggling, and and I thought that.
Well, that means that they don't really have the pulse of what's happening. But this is also something we've talked about as well. It's like a lot of this decision making is being done by people who are really in glass bubbles, who don't understand that, the audience wants to be given a different point of view, something uncomfortable.
Exactly, and believe me, I've sat with producers that love to see. They're tired of junky, sort of like car chasing films.
Yes.
It's enough. How many times have you looked at some of these big blockbusters recently, like with their action scenes and whatnot? They've become so boring and so repetitious, and it makes me kind of cringe, because here is hundreds of thousands of dollars have been spent on this one particular sequence, and my God, why? Because even if we would have taken the money from that one particular sequence, we could have made our film. Do you know what I mean? So it's just it's funny that I can take that budget from this, for example, this blockbuster, and make 10 films that are valuable, and they make they're entertaining, and they have everything you can want from 120 minutes or whatever, 80 minutes of film. So I really see this really sad and very important kind of like a gap for good quality films. But at the same time, I see a really amazing thing happening. And this new sort of a distribution model, which to some people is very scary, and to me, I think it's a new window and a new world for independent film, and that's the distributors like Netflix and Amazon and YouTube Red. These are really cool platforms that I think are producing some really amazing, high quality, good quality sort of films, and that is a hopeful sign. And I'm hoping that these platforms, something like Netflix, for example, should be, or all of these guys, anybody who has the power right now to make films, they should really be aware and know about the importance, how important it is to have the female, the women
Mm-hmm.
voice in the film, and also to have diversity, to have different background actors involved, and to have different kind of sort of cultures exposed in a Hollywood independent film. So where people really, people don't know where Iran is, but they don't know Iranians. They don't know who, what my background really is. And to me, I mean, if they had seen, let's say, a couple of really cool movies that was really about, if they would have, so I think diversity is really, really important too. So we need to inject more of the women's sort of role into Hollywood, and also diversity to Hollywood to make it a sort of a nicer place to be.
Well, yeah, and one of the things that we've said, though, is it then the fault of we the filmmakers? Is it the fault of the actual studio system, or is it the fault of the audience for not demanding it? That it's like the situation is the way that it is right now.
It's a chicken and egg kind of thing, It's funny. It's because well, let's say this is my opinion. Audiences have always been like influenced, especially the last the few decades, by television, heavily by advertisers in television. So and also more and more, especially nowadays, things have changed so much where we have this idea that we could things becoming shorter and shorter, or let's say attention span has become shorter and shorter. We want to look at something, not more than 30 seconds or 2 minutes. That I would say it's something between 30 seconds to 2 minutes. When you're like in social media, that's basically the trend, and that's becoming more and more sort of like a way people look at images and entertainment. And so in order for a filmmaker to keep their audience sort of interested and having them to come back, the only way you can do that is with good storytelling. In big words, again, great storytelling. If you know how to do great storytelling, then we will have amazing films to watch. But unfortunately, here's what happens in between too, going back to your question. All of a sudden, a lot of other factors become involved. So the audience is already conditioned, right? And then in the next level, we have the investors, the people that actually put in the money for this content to be created. So those guys have their own specific demands. They want their money back, and they want certain kind of ROI, and et cetera, et cetera. So what happens then based on their sort of like demands, you have to change your story. All of a sudden, your wonderful story is not that wonderful story anymore. I actually have seen that happen. You can tell it because I love it so much. I watched like 10 million movies. So basically, I see that happen over and over again, where the producer, you can tell that there was a really great, strong story there, a very great character-driven story there. But then some producer, some executive producer, somebody that had the money, somebody with some sort of influence sort of push the project in a different direction, and all of a sudden it turns into something not as nice as it should have been. In fact, sometimes it's downright, useless. And at the same time, they don't even bring the money back that they were hoping that they bring. But unfortunately, it seems like they love, audiences love to see cars crashing and people heads being chopped off, and all of those things, and we are hoping that by just watching that over and over, seeing how boring that is, hopefully we are able to sort of go back to sort of proper storytelling and make real films.
Now, when you yes, it's like what I was going to say was in these projects where you've seen that you start out with a really good story and a good storyline and everything, and then somebody changes the direction of it. And do you think, in other words, had they kept the original feel and direction of the film, do you think it would have done better and, in other words, made the investors more money if they just stuck with the original thing, or in other words, by the change it made it worse and made it into more of the everyday, like car chase, blow stuff up and things like that?
That's a very, very hard question to answer, because what's happening here is that a lot of ideas, when they do make that decision, they know what they're doing, and yes, the money makes more, the film makes more money when they do make those decisions, and the writer has to just live with it, and the filmmaker has to live with it, the director has to live with that, but at the same time, you never know. Maybe if they would have made that decision and gone with a better story, maybe we would have had a different kind of industry now. You know what I mean?
Or it might have made more box office for yeah.
I have to say this. I really, really think that one of the most important issues that all the big studios and big investors in the film business have to sort of like really, they should be taught is that they should care about quality in film, and they should keep that part of the bargain. And if they do that, then the audience will change too. It's a sort of a so how many years are you going to see like car chases? And I've seen the same plot over and over. I get tired. I turn it off. Seriously, I don't watch blockbuster films anymore. Because they're all exactly the same.
Do you think maybe that what we call the tentpole films have reached that plateau where it's going to start to fall off? I mean, I'm not saying they're going to disappear completely, because they're always going to be there, because there'll always be somebody that wants to see them. But do you see Hollywood possibly starting to make that turnaround where they say, maybe we need something that's more character-driven?
Yes, and hopefully if we get enough smart independent investors and independent filmmakers to make those little good films that are going to get awarded and shown in good film festivals and get praised, and those type of films, if they get made more and more, then yes, there's the possibility for sure, And I believe, I really truly believe that if we, like I said, it's the chicken and egg kind of a thing again. I think everybody has to make their own effort, and we have to somehow. It's not going to be an easy task, but I think this new model of distribution and new way of making films nowadays. First of all, things are changing like it's so fast. It's like crazy. I mean, the last few years, people, a lot of investors have been very, very nervous investing in films. For example, I've spoken to people who literally have said, okay, no, but we're not going to do this anymore because, so because of Netflix and because of Amazon, because all these, sort of streaming kind of distributors are kind of like sort of appearing and kind of doing their own thing, which is cool.
Original content.
Right.
Yeah, and it's something that we've discussed just in these past few months. Something that you would not have seen even 2 or 3 years ago in Hollywood, Manchester by the Sea.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Which was a brilliant character-driven study, and I don't think would have gotten made had it not been for Amazon. And
exactly.
look at all the awards it won.
And people tell me, oh God, these people, no, what do you feel about this business of Amazon and Netflix and YouTube Red and these people coming into the scene? It makes things way more complicated. And I say, no, hell no. I think it's a really awesome thing. We have to consider that it's a new world. And
yes.
We have to consider them as new solutions. And we have
Yeah. Well, there is going to be more Netflix and Hulus that are going to be coming up in the industry. And because SVOD is becoming also popular in terms of self-distribution as well. Well, for example, with crowdfunding falling out of favor because a lot of people realize that it's like, I'm sorry, if I'm going to invest money, I don't really want a freaking T-shirt. I want my money. I want my money back on my investment. I don't want a freaking T-shirt saying I invested in this film that may or may not have gone anywhere.
Anyway, right. Well,
and then it has a sad face. I invested in this film, so sad face.
Well, that's a good thing and a bad thing about crowdfunding or social media, because it's a very powerful medium, and believe me, you can't knock it. I wouldn't knock it. I think it's still a very powerful medium. If you do have the right project and you have the right pitch and you put in the right kind of feel to your pitch, then I would say it's. I would go for crowdfunding in a beat.
It's more crowdsourcing though than crowdfunding, because if you get the people that are behind it, then the investors look at it from a different point of view as well.
Exactly. Right, and well, crowdsourcing, I mean, it's an art, right?
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's funny. You have to make it in any of this entertainment kind of situation, entertainment world situation.
Yep.
Here's what happens. Either if you want an agent, you gotta get an agent to get an agent, or because it's funny, but that's how it works here. It's like so basically. What was I saying? I forgot my name.
Well, the fact that it's like there are it's like the fact that you have so many independent means that are also, but it's also harder to garner the crowdsourcing as well as the in terms of that, because it's like, yes, crowdfunding is a component, but it's not the component. When you're looking at crowdsourcing, though, however, it's like, the bigger the audience that sits there and says that we are demanding this product, the more that it will actually come to fruition of we are demanding this product.
Right. But again, I think crowdfunding is not dead. So
no.
Yes, you see a lot of dead projects. Yes, you see GoFundMe and all sorts of different platforms that Kickstarter, etc. They all have their own different kind of ways of dealing with the campaign, but the main thing being that it's still one of the most sort of let's say for very small, like micro budgets,
Mm-hmm.
the most promising and most real kind of source of funding. In other words, it's like the old way of equity finding or just loans from your relatives.
Yeah.
So it's just it's the same thing, but then you have a lot bigger audience. That's what it is, and it's okay. I mean, a lot of people that are in your circle of friends and whatnot, if you approach them, probably you would be getting a lot more from them than you would get, let's say, from some stranger just off the net that is just sort of semi-interested in what you're saying in your pitch and in your campaign. So basically, I would say that yes, crowdfunding is important, but this is just one of the many ways that one has to struggle to get the finances together to make it work.
Now, let me ask you this: as far as you're talking about all the finances, just to kind of throw it out there. In other words, you have a project that you're getting ready to work on. In other words, when you go to start, fundraising for it, what do you look at?
Well,
I guess what is your model for that?
Well, here's the model that they're basically. I'm looking at several different things. One is tax credit and pre-sales. Those are like
Yes.
really sort of important kind of components, but very complicated too. Here's my advice. Before you get into any of this stuff, first of all, if you're just wanting to start, like you want to get your project financed, what you need to, like I said, you need to have the strong package that you have, the great story and the strong package that you have. Once you have that package, then you have to find the investment. go around and look for the investor. Try to find somebody that is going to put in a big chunk of the money in themselves, or a company, or like an organization that's willing to come in and pitch in a big chunk of the budget. Let's say you're making a film for 100K, or let's say 200K, and you have your story, you have all that stuff all figured out, and you know somebody that may be interested in investing in something, but you have to be convincing enough and give them write a really good and honest budget. Another important thing, you've got to be super honest with the investor, or anybody that you deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Because, oh my God! I mean, I tell you, the amount of fake papers and fake promissory notes and fake ROI and all this and that's going around is and things that never go to fruition, go anywhere, because they're just like floating around and they're not real. They're just they're not real. So basically, it's really important to find the right investor that is actually passionate about your work. Now, so you have to be really sort of creative about this. We should think about it deeply. Who could be and how, when, who could be really interested, and how you can give a touch, and how you can approach them, how you can sell them your project. So those are the, and another really important issue is that you need to network. If you don't network, you'll never find the right person.
Mm-hmm.
Networking is so important. I think, in the old days was like, okay, you want to make it in the film business, get an agent. That was the old days. And boy, it was that like a closed door, sort of like behind the gate, kind of like exclusive kind of way feel to it. But nowadays, it's not like that. You could just I think you should be creative. You should explore different avenues, different people, different organizations, and raising money is a very creative process. And sometimes it takes literally a village to raise it, to raise and make a film. And once you do raise and make the film, I would say that is in itself a miracle. I say once a film, I don't care how badly it's made, but once a film is in a can and is actually being financed, and because, wow, what a complicated sort of world that you have to navigate through to actually have that film in the can. So to me, it's a miracle whenever a film project is made, and it takes a lot of work to make something made.
Yep.
And when you speak of networking for the film's numbers, where do you suggest people go to network in order to say, if you...
Right. Because I guess we're on the worldwide net right now. So I would start with your local, wherever you are, with your local film, sort of finance, film, kind of, there are film financing and sort of, or women in film kind of groups, local groups. and if not, there are online sort of networking sort of conferences and what seminars that some of these that you have to actually fork up some money for. But believe me, it's worth it. It's worth it. Usually, it's speakers, are industry people, and you get to meet a lot of other people who may possibly be the right exact guy that you were looking for. So, I think networking is a huge part of the new sort of way of navigating the entertainment industry. Yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to say this one thing. Generally, I'm not this quiet during the interviews that we do, but you've been so awesome, and most of the questions that I was going to think of to ask, you answer already. So,
same here. Same here. All kinds of questions I wanted to ask, and I went like, oh, but the answers already.
I'm so sorry. I was just.
No, this is good.
I love it.
Nervous and a little bit. I'm not myself today because of a lot of other things that are going on. I would have been a lot more articulate actually. Today I'm just like all over the place.
You've been articulating
Yes.
very well today.
I just want to add, this is the best and easiest interview I think the three of us have ever conducted.
Oh, that is so cool. I love that. Thank you.
Like I said, you thought through this at a different time. I was going to go, no, she answered it. No, she answered it. No, she answered it. Okay. I love it. It's awesome.
Thank you.
I'm learning a lot too. I'm learning a lot too, so it's awesome.
Sure. My pleasure. Well, I think I have to take off.
Well,
I really appreciate giving me time to sort of like blabber.
No, there was not blabbering by any means. It's like also though, Ellie, how do people get you in social media? So then that way.
Yes, sure. Please get in touch. I would love to, if you have an amazing project or if you have an idea, I would love to hear. I'm a very sort of open-minded, open person. And as much as I can, I will try to answer you back. Ellie Partovi, ELLIE-PARTOVI. You can catch me on LinkedIn or on Facebook or and our website is Orphic Production, ORPHIC Production.com, and also my personal new project, Positive Media Productions.org. And also, please, if you're in the area, first of all, like the Asian World Film Festival
Definitely.
Facebook page. And if you're in LA, in Culver City in October, please come to the festival. I would love to see you there. It's going to be an amazing film festival. So, yes, get in touch. I'm here.
I wish I could go because I love the Asian cinema. Most people, when they think Asian cinema, they just think kung fu flick. Kung fu flick. But it's not at all. It is, they are much more savvy than Hollywood when it comes to diversity in their films. And they're absolutely a marvelous industry.
Exactly. And there is 51 countries, that possibly we can show films from, and
Wow.
I love it. I think it's going to be a really awesome film festival. And these are films, by the way, that have been sort of selected for Academy or Golden Globe nominations to the entire Asia sort of proper. So it's a really, really cool festival. So hopefully we'll see you there. If not, just get in touch. I have wonderful projects.
Yes. And I can't wait to hear more about it. And also, please, please, please do say that you will come back and visit us again, and we'll talk more. How does that sound?
No.
Hello?
You've stunned her in silence.
Oh, no! Oh, no, we have frozen our guest. So also, then we can ask you then, Arpo, how do we get you in social media?
Oh, I'll unfreeze and say that you can reach me on Facebook. You can reach me on Skype. If you want to get into my Skype, make sure you tell me that you are a fan of Movietime, because I have too many Armenian women who seem to want to marry me. And of course, you can also reach me on LinkedIn. But please, don't send me pictures of your grandkids on LinkedIn. Save that for the Facebook account. Please, LinkedIn is for business.
Yep. And Olaf, how do we get in touch with you? Via social media.
It's like, well, you can stalk me on both Facebook and Twitter at Olaf Barbosa. So we say just don't stalk too close, because I do get nervous and I do have an itchy trigger finger.
And as you know, for me, you can get me on LinkedIn, Wikipedia, Facebook, Twitter. Goodness, it's like, and if you can't find me, you're not just stalking me hard enough. And there's like so many ways of getting in touch with me on the YouTube page on www.pastlivesproductionsinc.net. And thank you, Ellie, if you're out there listening to us. Thank you for giving us an incredibly amazing show. And
just to put an end to all the rumors, this is what's in the coffee cup. Okay.
excellent.
Mountain Dew.
All the caffeine and sugar a grown boy needs.
And thank you, everyone, for listening to us.
Thanks for listening.
See y'all soon.